news that vaccine passports have been scrapped in England. They're still going to be introduced in Scotland next month. So let's have a chat to Mike Ollie, who's the Westside Business Improvement Manager, which includes the running of Broad Street. And we all know that in Birmingham. Morning to you, Mike.
Hello there, good morning.
Well, Mike, you must be pleased with this announcement.
Well, I am pleased if it's true. Absolutely, yes. It would be great to think that there's some consistency in what they're telling us. So, no or yes to, or no, is it to passports or is it a maybe? I don't actually
Well, no,
know.
we're even more confused because we think at the minute they've been scrapped. But he is doing, is making an announcement tomorrow, isn't he? So he's going to go through everything. Well, I mean, what's it like on Broad Street at the moment?
We're pretty busy, actually. I did hear Sonny earlier on, so I'm not jumping over that. Yeah. So what I would say to Sonny is, Sonny said the 40 to 60-year-olds aren't there as much. Well, that's probably true to a point. But shall we say, when any sensible 40 to 60-year-old is tucked up in bed, the street is absolutely rammed. We are experiencing numbers like we have never had before, to be honest. Late doors, that is, you know.
Right.
So yeah, it picks up around 11 o'clock, and it's very busy before 11 o'clock, to be honest. But at 11 o'clock, it's just massive surge of revellers coming out to enjoy themselves. And they don't go home to ridiculous hours in the morning. I can't understand why we allow it. But there you go. That's what they like to do.
Well, Mike, do you know what? I'm getting ready for bed of a weekend, and all I hear is a flurry, and I sort of like smell wafts of aftershave going past, and I'm like, where are you even going? It's like 11 o'clock at night. Yeah, we're going out now, Mum. It's like it's bedtime, but their night begins when my night is ending, and off they go, and then you get the kerfuffle in the early hours as they're coming back in again, and God knows what my Ring doorbell picks up, but I try not to look back on that one too much. But people are still going out and they're still enjoying themselves after all this time as well. That's a good thing, isn't it?
It is very much so, and we've got many happy general managers who came back not knowing what to expect. Because, I know the government's been up and down in what it's saying, loads of U-turns, changed its mind, but I've got to make this point. It's a major epidemic that no one's ever dealt with before. So I'm not sure anyone would have known how to deal with this. But the point is, things are looking up for us. They are looking bright. We've got plenty of numbers. Trade's good. Trade has been absolute pants for, a year or so. Many people that were on life support were doing well. But now, things are hitting the mark, and we're very pleased with what people are spending. So long may that reign.
Yeah, and I guess the timing of this announcement is good because you've got Freshers Week coming up as well.
Very much so. Interesting point is that Freshers Week lasts for about 4 or 5 weeks in actual fact. Just another interesting fact there. But yeah, so that's coming along. We've got to cater for all the universities we've got in Birmingham. I've lost count of how many universities we've got in Birmingham nowadays, but Broad Street certainly does seem to be a great place for them to come to, and broad open arms and big welcome to them, yeah?
Yeah, and I mean, there are some that will say that vaccine passports would be a way of getting young people vaccinated and then keeping those numbers down for the winter. What do you think about that, Mike?
Well, I got some sympathy with that, but I've had my 2 jabs. I know there's some people in the same age group as me haven't had it, but they've got their reasons for it. I don't necessarily agree with them. But then you get all sorts of complications because if you've got a vaccine passport and we just wave it as a doorman or it gets scanned by a scanner, that's fine. But the problem is you only need one person in 20 or one person in 40 to want a discussion with someone. It holds the whole queue up. And believe you me, when you're trying to load up a nightclub, it's like loading a bus up. It really is. The amount of numbers that are going in there. It's not like strolling into your boozer on a Saturday evening at 6:30 or 7:30. It's critical how you manage queues. So I'm not really in favour of these vaccine passports. It doesn't seem to be the best way to do it. I think you mentioned earlier that Boris Johnson is set to announce his winter plans tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I take some sort of comfort from the fact that he's they're leaking the news, aren't they, already, that the speculation, shall we say, is around there's going to be more focus on vaccinations and moving away from the idea of passports. Passports are difficult for us to manage. If we have to manage them, we will, but they are difficult and they'll cause all sorts of problems and issues that we just frankly don't want.
Now, I know that people have been longing to get back out again, Mike, but is it odd a bit dealing with an influx of people, the numbers of which you speak? I mean, does anyone feel nervous entering a bar or a club? And I don't just mean the people going in to enjoy themselves. I mean the people going in working.
There definitely will be people who feel nervous about that. I'll give you an example. I was I was in a motorway service station the other day, and I just felt there was too many people around me, so I whipped and put my mask on. I'm not sure what that did for me, but I guess that was symbolic of feeling nervous, if you like. We just haven't had people all around us, have we, for over a year or so? So, yeah, I'm sure there are a few people who feel a bit nervous and apprehensive. But you wouldn't spot it on Broad Street. I've got to say that to you. I think you've got to be...
There's lots of things you can spot on Broad Street. My goodness gracious, I've had my fill of it over the years. From when I used to come out of work and drive down, it's certainly an experience, isn't it? And just one question before I go. Have you noticed any shortages of anything? Because in the last few weeks, we've been talking about shortages of certain things. Everything okay down Broad Street? You got everything you need?
We've had a few near misses, I think is the answer. We've got a few general managers who are having to go out to the cash and carry themselves because the brewery can't get it for them. But as a punter, you wouldn't know. There's a lot of activity behind the scenes to keep it on course. So a few near misses, I think I would use that expression again.
Right.
But from a reveller's point of view, there might be one or two things not on the menu. But substantially